Okay. So let's have a quick recap what we have discussed in the last session. In the last session, we have discussed about the introduction about Azure. We have discussed it. In today's session, we are going to start learning about how we can create our Azure account. But before starting off this particular topic, any question anyone have, please raise your hand. If you have anyone have any doubt, anything you want to ask. Anyone have any question? Okay. Look like no one has any questions. So let's start with the today's topic where we are going to learn about how to create a Azure account. To create your Azure account, you can use any of your personal email address. Don't use your official email addresses. To create your Azure account, always use any of your personal email address. You can use Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, any of your personal email address you can use. To create your Azure account, you have to go to this particular link, which is mentioned in this PPT. You can go to this particular link, or you can directly go to Azure link also. There also you will get an option to create your account. So the link is already given here. You can click on this link. Once you click on this link, you have to click on start free. So here like this, you will get start free. You can click on start free. Once you click on start free, you will move to this particular page. Then you will get an option to click on create one. Once you click on create one, you have to enter your email address. And that's what I've already informed you. You can use any of your personal email address you can use here. It can be Gmail, it can be Yahoo, it can be Outlook, any of your personal email address you can use. Once you enter email address, you need to click on next. After click on next, you need to enter your password. And it can be any password. There's no specific rules we have from Microsoft Azure that we have to go with this one. But the only thing is minimum password needs to be 8 characters long. Other than that, there is no specific rule that we have to go with small letter, cap, big letter, numbers at the rate. No, they don't have any rules. But minimum 8 character long, you need to give your password. Once you give your password, you need to click on next. And the password, whichever you're giving here, that will the password for your Azure account. Now, once we click on next, we will get an OTP on our email address. So whatever the email we were using it here to create our Azure account, on that particular email ID, we will get an OTP. One-time password we will receive, that particular code, the code which we are getting, one-time code, that particular code we have to enter here. That will you will get on your email, might be going spam. You can check that if it's going in spam. So once you get that OTP, you can enter that OTP, then click on next. Once you click on next, now here you have to enter some of your personal details like your first name. If you have a middle name, you can enter middle name, last name. Email address, you don't need to enter. Email address system will automatically pick from the previous step. You don't need to enter the email address. And then you have to scroll down. You have to enter your phone number. And you need to enter your phone number without country code. Just your number you need to give it. And then here are the two options you have to verify your mobile number. Your phone number, you can do by using text message or by using call me. So just enter your number, your first name, your last name. If you have a middle name, you can enter. Email address, no need to enter because it will pick automatically. Just phone number, check the checkbox, and then you have to choose option how you want to verify your number by using text message or call. Because on call or text, they will give you one OTP. So that particular OTP you need to enter there. Once you click on text me or call me, you will get a screen to enter the OTP. Just enter that OTP. Now, after you enter the OTP, you have to enter your address. Now, which address you have to enter here? This is very important. The address needs to be exact same as your bank account, because to create your Azure account, you have to give your card details. It can be debit card, it can be credit card, you can give here. But whatever the card you are giving here, you have to give the address which is mentioned under that particular bank account. Or if you're using credit card or bank debit card, whatever the address is given in your bank, the same address you have to give here. Copy paste from your bank. I'll give you one example also here. Let's take example. Usually my address is like this, flat number 4. But in bank account, they have written as flat 4. Which one is correct for us? For us, this one is correct because we were writing like this. But in bank, they have written it like this. So for Azure, this one is correct, not this one. So to enter the address, the best practice is log into your bank, copy and paste the address here. If they have given the address in one single line, just give in one single line. If they are given in multiple lines, give in multiple lines. Then city, state, postal code. Postal code means PIN code or zip code also it is called as. Postal code is also called as zip code. It is also called as PIN code also. So once you enter your details, just check these check boxes. If you want to read their terms and conditions, you can read that. Then click on next. Once you click on next, here you have to give your card details. And Azure does not support the RuPay card. If you have a RuPay card, Azure does not support. RuPay card support Visa and MasterCard. So your card holder name, your card number, expiry date, and CVV. Once you enter CVV, they are going to deduct 2 rupees, or if you're from US, they're going to deduct $1 from your account. But whatever the amount they are going to deduct, that amount is going to refund within 3 to 5 days. Usually we get that refund in few hours, but they are saying that the particular amount is going to refund in 3 to 5 days. Might be sometime some servers issues will have that your bank take time. So that's why they were saying it will take 3 to 5 days to get that refund of 2 rupees or 1 US dollar. So that particular amount you'll get a refund. So it means to create your Azure account, you are paying 0 rupees. You are paying nothing. Now, once your account is ready, you can log into your account by using the email ID and password. And then you will see something called subscriptions here. Here you will see subscription, or here you can see subscriptions. Click on that. And then you will find this subscription. It's showing us as free trial. 99.99% of subscription name is going to name as free trial. Nowadays, I've started hearing about from last few months, some of these students were saying that their subscription name is not showing us as free trial. The name is not free trial, but they are getting the free trial. I don't know why they were doing like this, but if you just click on the subscription, there you will see the type called free trial. N- Name doesn't make any difference. Even I can change the name of the subscription. But how you actually have to check if your subscription is free tier or not, let me first show you that. Let me log into my account. Okay, so here is my subscription. Click on a subscription name. Here you will see offer as free tier. My account is not coming under free tier. So here you will find free tier. Don't go on the name. This is the name. I want to rename, I can rename it. And this is pay as you go. But here you will see offer. So if you're seeing free pay as you go, you are getting it. Now, one important point. If you already have a Azure account, like you have already earlier created Azure account, now it's older account, you want to create a new account for that. Definitely for a practice, if you don't want to get any bill, but make sure if you are using the new account, you want to create a new account, don't use the same email ID first of all. Second thing is don't use the same mobile number. Third thing is don't use the same card details. Don't use the same, even if possible, try to use a different network also. To create your Azure account, which you have used the same network for your existing account, even try to use a different network also. But definitely you have to use a new email ID, use a separate mobile number, don't use the same mobile number which you have verified earlier, and don't use the same card. If you're using the same card, they find out that you already have account, they will create your account and you will not get that 200 US dollar credit which you are getting for first 30 days. So make sure when you're trying to create your account, try to use the different things if you already have an existing account. If you don't have it, then it's okay. Then you can use anything here. So this is how you can create your Azure account. Now, any question anyone have, please let me know. Anyone have any question? Okay. No question. So let's discuss one thing called marketplace. Now, how you can find services in Azure if I want to find any service, there are multiple options we can find services in Azure. One thing is we can directly go in the search box. Like whatever the service you want to find virtual machine, just type VIR, here I'm getting it. And you can see here I'm getting the marketplace also. So here I'm getting that services and here we are getting the marketplace. Under marketplace also we have all the Azure services. I want to search database. Here. So if you want to find any of the Azure service, whichever you want to work, we have this search option. With the help of this particular search box, you can search any of the Azure service, whichever you're going to work on that. Or you can click on these three dots. Here we are getting few of the services name. Here also I can see few of the services name here also. Or I can just search marketplace. Here I'm getting marketplace. Now when I go to marketplace, here I'm getting the categories. All the categories of services I can see here. Let's say example, I just go to compute. So under this marketplace, you will see all the services whichever is given by Azure to us, or whatever the third party company have tie up with Azure. You can see all the services here. All our services we are able to see here. But if you want to see only Azure services, check this checkbox. Here I'm getting all the Azure services which are related to compute category. Here we are. You can go to next. So like this, you can see only the search here. If you know the service name, you can directly search here to find that particular service also. Or you can come to marketplace and go based on category. Like I can go to again to storage, Azure services. So here are all the storage services, whichever we have it in Azure. So this is how you can find Azure services. But the easy way is this search box. Directly in search box, you can find that particular service, whichever you're going to work on that. Yes, Bhavna, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, hi. Actually, I have a doubt. Like, what do you mean by like marketplace, and what is meant by services? How is it related to this Azure?
In
Like,
mark
uh,
in marketplace, you will see all the services, whichever is coming under Azure, whichever is services given by Azure, or whatever a third party services, whichever we have third party company have tie up with Azure, all those you can see here under
like
marketplace.
what is the services? Means how is it helpful? Like, what does the function of the services?
Services whichever is given by the Azure to us.
Okay.
The services whichever is given by Azure to us, those are called as services. Like virtual machine is one service, storage account is one service.
Means those are all our functionalities of like what we should work
These are called as
further.
services in Azure.
Okay.
Okay. That's why
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
using the terminology called whichever is used in Azure. I'm not going to, yeah, you can call it functionality also, but if you're working on Azure, you have to use Azure terminologies, not the other terminology.
Thanks.
Okay. Because when you're
Yeah.
going for an interview, this is the first thing any person is noticing. Are you using the terminology which is used in that particular cloud? If you are not using it, they find out that you don't have a knowledge. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. Now in Azure, we have different types of subscriptions we have it. One type of subscription I have told you we have it, which is called as free tier. Free tier, we are getting it for our practice purpose, we are getting it. But there is one more subscription we have it called pay as you go right now, which I am using it. What is this pay as you go subscription? Pay as you go subscription is if you are using that particular services, then we have to pay for that. Like in previous session, I have told you Azure is doing billing based on per minute basis. If I'm going to use any of their services which are not coming under always free, other than always free, if I'm going to use any of the service, I have to pay that bill for that. If I'm using that particular service for 1 minute, I need to pay for 1 minute. If I'm using for 10 minutes, I need to pay for 10 minutes. Then there is one more type of subscription which is called as support subscription, which I don't have that subscription. Even I can't that subscription. Support subscription is only getting by the clients. Only clients get that particular support subscription. That's what is called as members offer. So whatever the subscription they need it means they what they can do it is they can pay some amount in advance to Azure, because what these companies are doing it, if you're paying some in advance or you have made some bills with that, like I'm going to use these particular services for this much time period and this will be my minimum requirement, I'm going to use it. So what these companies are going to do it is they'll give you a huge discount. If you are going for 1 year, then they'll give you like some 30% discount. If you go for 3 years, then they can give you 60 to 70% discount also. AWS is also doing the same thing. Azure is also doing the same thing. So these are member subscriptions. So where they can pay some amount or they can give some their minimum requirement. This is my minimum requirement. So based on that particular requirement, Azure is going to add that particular subscription in our Azure account. Based on that, we are getting the bill from their side. So this type of subscription you can find in organizations, not in your practice purpose. You can't find that type of subscription. You can only find free trial or pay as you go. Now, this is the structure we have in Azure. But right now, we are not going to discuss this complete structure. Right now, we are only going to discuss about this structure. So first thing what we have it is subscription. Then we can see something called resource group. And then we have resources. Above this particular part, we are going to discuss in our upcoming session once we come to that different service. So right now, we subscription, I already have it. So once I'm going to create your account, you automatically get the subscription. But we need this thing. Resource group. What is resource group? We'll discuss it. And then we need resources. All the services whichever we have, under those services what we are going to create, we are going to create resources. Virtual machine as service, but under virtual machine service I'm going to create a virtual machine. That particular virtual machine is called as resource. One single thing is called as resource, multiple things are called as resources. So virtual machine, virtual network, database. So under resource group we are going to create resources. So the first service which we are going to learn in this training is virtual machine. But before learning of all these services, we have to first understand what is a resource group. Because in Azure, to create any of the service, whatever service you want to create, it is mandatory to have a resource group. Without resource group, in Azure, you can't create any of the service. Now, what is resource group? If I talk about in journal rank language, resource group is like a folder. Resource group is like a folder, or actually it's called as container that hold related resources for an Azure solution. Like this is my folder, this is my resource group. Under this resource group, whatever the services, whichever I'm going to create, I'm going to keep here. So it like a one centralized location I have it in Azure, which is called as resource group, where I can see all the services whichever I have created. I have created database, I have created VPN, I have created virtual machine, I have created storage account. Anything, whatever we have created in Azure, we have one centralized location called resource group where we can see those resources. So one single location we have. That particular thing is called as resource group. Resources can only exist in resource group. So it means I can't create virtual machine. I can't create storage account. I can't create database. I can't create VPN. Any other thing I can't create without resource group. So it is mandatory. Is resource group chargeable? Let's see that. In yesterday's session, we have seen one link where we are getting all the services details. Is it chargeable or it's coming under free? We can see that. Yes, this is here we have resource manager. Resource manager, resource group are both are same thing. Always free. So resource group is free for lifetime. So to create resource group, there is no charges we have to pay. The resource group is completely free of cost. Now, once you create the resource group, you can't change the name. You can't change the name of the resource group once you create the resource group. Groups can have resources of many different types. Types means services, different services. Like in one single resource group, I can add virtual machines also. I can add database also. I can add VPN also. I can add storage account also. We can add that in one single resource group. Like I have this folder. Okay. I have this folder right now. How many types of files I have in this folder? Only one. Let me add just few more types of the file. I have added one PPT here. Just I have added one PDF also. So in one single folder, can we store different types of files? One is PPT, one is PDF, one is text. Yes, I can add that in one single folder. Same way, in one single resource group, we can store different types of services also. Different types of services I can store in one single resource group. We'll see in today's example also, because to just to create one virtual machine, we need other things also. What are the things we'll discuss more in upcoming session. Groups can have resources from many different regions also. Now this is very important point. Now what is different regions? Like whenever I'm going to create resource group, the two things I have to give. One is I have to give the name, and I have second thing is I have to select the region. Region means in which data center I want to create that specific resource group. So let's take example. I have created that specific resource group in India region, Central India region. Now I'm going to create a virtual machine. Is it mandatory to create a virtual machine also in the Central India region? No, it's not mandatory. Resource group I can create in Central India region, but virtual machine if I want to create, I can create in East US region also. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. But we were not doing this thing. The thing which I'm actually right now explaining you, we are not doing it. Why? Because it impact the performance. It is going to impact the performance of our services. But yes, it is possible. It's a very common interview question also they can ask you. That I am creating a resource group in another region, and the service which I want to create, the resource which I want to create, can I create in another region? Yes, it is possible. But Practically, we were not doing in any of the organization because it is going to impact the services. You don't need to tell this thing to the person who's going taking the interview that practically we were not doing it, but he can ask you this thing that is it possible or not. You just need to say yes, it is possible. I'm going to practically show this thing in our upcoming session also. Now, so how we can create resource group? So I can search here resource group. When I just type RES, here I'm getting resource groups. So by default, I don't have any resource group. Click on create. Now, they have automatically select my subscription. They'll automatically select that. I have only one subscription active. They have selected. Name. Is there any mandatory naming convention we have to follow? No. There is no mandatory naming convention we have to follow for resource group. So let's just give the name as batch 373. Batch hyphen 373. See here? Here. The only thing is your resource group name needs to be unique under your Azure account. Under your Azure account, resource group name needs to be unique. I want to create one more resource group. I can't create a same resource group with this name. But if you want to create in your Azure account, you can create that. The same name which I'm using right now, you can use. And here I'm getting the region. Regions means data centers. So in whichever the locations they have data centers, here I'm getting the list. So whichever you want to select, you can select here. Let's say example, I just go with the Central India. India, here. Now click on review plus create. Validation passed. Whenever we are trying to create any service, anything in Azure, they are verifying it first. If you're getting validation pipe, means you have done correct. Now click on create. Here I can review the details also. Now click on create. Done. So we are able to create our resource group. Just refresh this page. It will take some time to display. Now I'm getting it. So I'm able to see the name of my resource group. I'm able to see the subscription. And here I'm able to see the location. So we are able to create our resource. Now we have to learn what is virtual machine. But before that, anyone have any question related to resource group? Please raise your hand. Yes, Harika, you can unmute.
Yes, one user can have multiple subscriptions, right?
Yes, it is
In
possible.
that also, this resource group, can we use common or it should be only uh, for
That
yeah,
is at subscription level.
sorry,
That is at subscription level.
subscription level. Yeah, same
Yes.
resource group name we can use.
In one Azure account, you can't use the same name.
Okay, if I have multiple subscriptions as well.
Yes.
Okay,
Name needs to be unique as per the account level.
okay,
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Yes, Divya.
Yeah, can you show me again how to create the resource group? I missed that.
Okay. So first of all, you have to search here resource group. I'll
Okay.
just type RES, so I'm getting the resource groups. Okay. Then click on create. You have to give the resource group name, whatever the name. Let me just give as Divya. Okay. And you have to select the region. In whichever the region you want to create the resource group. I just go with Australia East. Then click on review plus create. And then we are getting validation passed. It means we have given the correct details. Click on create again. Now, so this is how we can create multiple resource groups here.
Okay.
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 Any more question?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone have any more question? Yes, Epet, you can unmute. Yeah, you have raised your hand to ask your question. You have to unmute yourself.
Can you create a resource group purely for network resources only, and then create a resource group also for virtual machines only?
You want to create a virtual resource group only for virtual network.
Correct.
And then you want to create resource group for only for virtual machine.
Correct.
It is possible you can move the resources from one resource group to another resource group. Or you have to do one thing before creation of virtual machine, you have to create a virtual network. But it's not possible you can create it in another resource group, that virtual machine. That's because system is not going to pick the same virtual network while creating, so that's not possible. But after creation, you can move those resources to one resource group to another resource group. That's possible.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. The question he asked me, I given him answer. We can move resources from one resource group to another resource group. These things we are going to learn in our upcoming session. It's part of our training. Yes, Divya. Divya, you have raised your hand to ask a question. You need to unmute.
Hello.
Yes.
Without resource group, we can't create any virtual missions, right?
Any of these service you can't create in Azure without resource group. So this is one of the basic thing. I can say it's a first step to create services in Azure. Step one.
Okay.
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 Okay. Now, what is virtual machine? Anyone can raise hand and let me know what is virtual machine. Whatever you know, don't worry about incorrect, correct, whatever you know, anything about virtual machine, just give your inputs. Yes, yeah.
Virtual machine, I would say, is a software of instances that you can deploy to run on your resource group.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Thank you. Anyone wants to give any more answer? Yes, Ruth, you can unmute.
Yes, I would say is a computer, kind of like a computer file, like an image that behaves like a physical machine.
Correct. That is also correct. Anything else? Okay. Let's discuss what is virtual machine. Virtual machine is like a computer to us. We can build one computer. Like I'm using this laptop with the same configuration which I'm using. I want the same type of computer, one more. But I don't want a physical computer. I don't want a physical laptop on my desk. I don't want a physical CPU on my desk. I don't want anything. The physically I don't want. So I want one more computer which I can access from my own laptop. So what we can do it is we can create a virtual machine which is like a virtual server, virtual computer for us, where I can do anything, whatever I want to do that. On that particular virtual server, I can build one application. I want to do some work. I can do anything, whatever I want to do. Like this is my laptop. Under my laptop, I can do anything. There is no restriction. Same way, under that particular virtual machine also, I can do anything, whatever I want to do that. If I want to build an application, I can build it in my computer also. Same way, if I want to build an application in virtual servers, I can do there also. So virtual machine is like a computer to us, where we can do anything, whatever we want to do that. And which operating system support by the Azure? Here are the list of operating system. Ubuntu, Windows, definitely they are going with Windows because that's their own. Red Hat, CentOS, Debian, Oracle, Linux. So there are the only few operating system which is supported by the Azure virtual machine. So the first thing what we need a resource group that we have already created. Now we have to create virtual machine. So search virtual machine, VIR, so virtual machines. Click on create Azure virtual machine. The first thing what we need is we need a subscription, which is by default they have selected. Then we need a resource group. I have two resource group I have created. Here I'm able to see both the resource group. I'm selecting here. And wherever the star mark is there, wherever star mark is there, that particular star mark is mandatory. So right now in starting of our training, I'm not going to discuss each and every single thing for now because it's not possible for me to teach you each and every single thing in one single session. So slowly we are going to learn more things. So right now I'm just only going to discuss wherever the star mark is there. I'm only going to discuss those things here. The first thing is resource group. We have selected already. If I want to select the other one, I can select another one. You can see here, right now which region is there? Australia East. Why I'm getting? Because this specific resource group is created under Australia East. I'm changing now. You can see the region is changed. So whatever the region we are selecting for our resource group, the same region I can see here also. Now give the name. Name can be any name. For the virtual machine, I'm giving as VM-Win373 because I'm going to create here Windows virtual machine right now. In our tomorrow session, we are going to learn about how to create a Linux virtual machines also. Yeah. Scroll down. Now here we have to select image. Now what is image? In our general language, we call it as operating system. But in Azure also they are calling as operating system? No. In Azure, they call it as image. So here I'm getting. Few they are showing me. Ubuntu One, Sushi, Red Hat, Windows, Debian they were showing. If you want to see all their images, you can click on see all images also. But for now, I just need Ubuntu. So here Ubuntu, there are total 3 they are showing me for Ubuntu. I'm selecting the first one. Done. So in our general language, we call it operating system, but in Azure, it is called as image. And right now, this is a default image which we are getting from Azure side. Can we create our own image? Yes, we can create that our own images also. So those things we are going to learn in our upcoming session. Now I have a question for you, which you can send your answers in chat box. I'm going to enable the chat box. Whenever any person is buying a computer, person, a normal person, he don't have much technical knowledge. What are the basic thing any person is going to check whenever a person is going to buy a computer or a laptop? Please send your answer in chat box. What are the basic things anyone is going to be check? Correct. Hard disk, RAM, CPU, correct, and operating system. These are the 4 basic things everyone is going to be check. Because without 4 these things, definitely our computer is not going to work. It means to create our virtual machine, do we need these 4 things? Yes. To create our virtual machine also, we need these 4 basic things. Without these 4 basic things, even I can't create virtual machine also here. So the first thing what I'm going to do it is I want to select CPU and RAM. And CPU and RAM in Azure, it's always coming under one single package. I can't select separate CPU, I can't select separate RAM. No, both are coming under together. Here we have size. So right now, how many CPU and RAM I'm getting it? 2 CPU, 8 GB of the RAM. And every size, whichever we are getting, having a different names they have given it. See all size. Here I'm getting. Which one we should select so Azure will not charge us? Is there any free one we have here? How we can see that? In PDF number 1, page number 6, we have that link there. Let's open that link again. Even I don't need to go to all services. Here, the first thing I'm getting is Azure Virtual Machine, Windows. So they have given the size B1S, B2 PTS, V2, B2 ATS, V2. If we were using these 3, then you will not get any bill from their side. Because you will get 750 hours per month free for these 3 types. Other than these 3 types, if you are going to use it, same for Linux also. For Windows also, for Linux. So it means you are getting 750 hours for Windows separate, 750 hours for Linux you are getting separate. Don't consider both are combined, no. For Windows we have a 750 hours separate, for Linux 750 hours we have separate. In one single day, how many hours we have? 24 hours. If I talk about in average, 30 days will calculate how many hours it is? 720 hours. How many hours we are getting it? 750 hours. It means if you create one machine and keep that machine for 24/7, then also you will not get any bill from their side. But 750 hours you have. If you have one machine, then you'll get 720. You can use 720 hours because still you'll have 30 hours. But if you create 2 machines, then those 750 hours is going to divide by 2. It means for each machine, you have 375 hours. If you create 10 machine, then only you have 75 hours per machine free under this particular size. So it means once you complete those 750 hours, they'll start charging. So which size should I select here? B1S. How much CPU and RAM we are getting under B1S? 1 CPU, 1 GB of RAM. Select this one, select. So other than that B1S, if you're selecting any other size, you will get a bill. But yes, under first 30 days, you can select any size. Because for first 30 days, you have that credit of $200. So till that particular credit, you will not get any bill. But once you complete that credit, if you are using other than B1S, you will get a bill from their side. So we have selected CPU and RAM, 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM we have selected. If you want to select more, you can select more, but yes, you will get a bill. But right now, this is my basic requirement. With very basic requirement, we were starting. Let's example, we want to build something and we are starting with basic requirement. Slowly, our customer base is getting increased. So definitely we have to increase CPU and RAM. Is it possible after creation of this machine in future I can increase it? Yes, it is possible. How to do that? We are going to learn in our upcoming sessions how we can increase CPU and RAM of our existing machines also. And this is the regular activity in organizations. Now scroll down. Oh, sorry, I have selected by mistake Ubuntu. I'm selecting Windows one because we are creating Windows machine right now. So selected the Windows one. Windows server we have selected, size B1S. If you are going to create Linux one, then we can select Ubuntu one in tomorrow's session. Now here I have to give the username and password. I have mentioned also which size you want to select, B1S. Now, there are some rules we have to follow for this password. Out of these four of the following things, we have to follow three. One lower, one upper, one number, and one special characters we have to use for our password. And password must between 12 and 123 characters. So less than 12 characters, they will not accept your password. And for username, can I give any username here? No. There are some words they have reserved. Those type of words I can't use it. Like a very common is admin. See, that's not possible. Super user. So that is one we have. But there are some root, right? Root. See here. So which are very common like admin, root. This type of word they have reserved. We can't those type of words for our username. I'm going to give a username as Azure user. Yes. So we can't use these special characters for our username. Username is to between 1 and 20 characters long, and we can't use those reserved words. Now, password. Password, let me give us Azure password @1. So I've given the username and we have given the password here. Now scroll down. The next thing what we have to do it is we have to enable the port number. What is the port number we have to enable? Call RDP port. Why we have to enable this port number? Because just creation of this machine is not our task. After creation of this machine, we have to connect to this machine. Is it mandatory to connect? Yes. If I can't connect to this machine, then there is no use of creation of this machine. So if you want to connect to this particular machine from your laptop, from your desktop, it is mandatory to enable a port number called RDP for Windows images. And I'm enabling the chat box again. Anyone knows the port number for RDP? 3389. 3389 is the port number for RDP. And that's mandatory to enable for Windows images. If I scroll down, you can see here, they have by default enabled that particular port number. RDP 3389. How they know that they have to enable this particular port number, RDP port number? Because we have selected that particular image. So they have done in that way this their structure they have built it. Whatever the image you are selecting for that particular image, the basic port number which is required by default they are. So we don't need to enable that particular port number manually. They were doing it. But yes, other than 389, if you want to enable any other port number, that I have to do it manually. So those things we'll discuss in our upcoming session because we are going to enable some more ports in our upcoming session. So let's have a quick recap. So first thing, we have selected resource group. Second thing, we have given the name. Third thing, we have selected the image. Fourth thing, we have selected the size. Which size we are getting CPU and RAM. And then we have given username, password, and then enable the port number RDP. Now, still one more thing is left, hard disk. We didn't select the hard disk. So then if you have to click on next, because next is disk tab. Here we have a different tabs. Here I'm getting OS disk, which we normally called as C drive. In Azure, it is called as disk. And the disk which we are getting by default, that disk is called as OS disk. And how much size they are giving us? 127 GB for Windows images. So 127 GB we are getting for Windows. If you want to select more than 127 GB for Windows, you will get a bill for that. So 127 GB is free for us. And this is C drive. But if I want D drive, E drive, F drive, multiple drives, how to attach it, we are going to discuss in upcoming session. But right now, we were just only going with OS disk, which is by default we are getting as 127 GB. Then here we have some more tab: networking, management, monitoring, advanced, tags. These one I'm not going to discuss right now. That's what I've informed you earlier. It's not possible for me to teach you each and every single option today. Those things we are going to discuss in our upcoming session slowly. Even in one day, I'm not going to teach each and every single thing. We'll discuss it. So just directly click on Review Plus Create. So I'm just getting error message here. Go to basics. Let's just validate why, what is the error? There is nothing we have. Sometimes it's happened. So even if you just click on Review Plus Create directly, they'll give you some error message that, but we didn't do any mistake. So again, click on Review Plus Create. Go back again to Review Plus Create. It happens. See, did we do any changes? No. Validation passed. Now click on Create. Now this will take near about 2 to 3 minutes to create our virtual machine. So till the time system is creating our virtual machine, any question anyone have, please raise your hand. Anyone have any question? You can see here with virtual machine, they are creating some more things. Public IP address, NSG, virtual network, what network interface. Now they are creating the virtual machine. It'll take more time. Yeah. So go to resource. Here I'm able to see the virtual machine which we have created. I can go to again home page. I can go to resource groups. Here we have our batch 3731 and they have created one more resource group called Network Watcher RG. What is this Network Watcher RG? We are going to discuss in our upcoming session once we come to this particular service. But whenever we are creating virtual machine, by default system is creating one more resource group called Network Watcher RG and it's a standard name. You will not find any other name. This is a standard name they are using. Here I'm able to see virtual machine, public IP, NSG, virtual network, network interface, disk. This is our OS disk, which they have created for us. I can click on virtual machine. Here I can see the operating system, the size, the resource group, the location, public IP address. I can see. So here we are able to see the details about for our virtual machine, which we have created. Anyone have any question? Okay, no question. Now, how to connect to this particular virtual machine? That part I'm not going to start right now. How to connect to this Windows virtual machine, I'm going to start in tomorrow's session. But I want to show you one important point thing now, right now. Once you complete your practice, can we leave this as it is? No. We have to make sure whatever we have created, we have to delete those things. So what we should here to delete everything? Shall we delete one by one everything? No. In Azure, we have a shortcut. Once we complete our practice, we can delete this resource group. Means you can delete this resource group. Under the resource group, whatever the resources you have, they will delete all your resources. So you have to delete all the resource group, whichever you are going to create. But make sure till that time you are not getting a notification of deleted, don't close your browser. You just click on delete and then you close your browser, it will stop there. You're not getting a proper notification like this deployment succeed. I'm getting, you're not getting a proper notification of deleted. Don't close your browser. If you close your browser, your resources are still active there. So click on delete resource. And then we have to enter the resource group name. Copy, paste, delete. And they're not going to delete in 1 minute. They will take near about 5 minutes because they have to delete all the resources also. Now I'm going to delete this network watcher RG, which they have by default generated. Copy the, click on delete, copy the name, paste here, delete, delete. And same way, this is empty resource group. If I'm not going to delete this one, they will not charge me. but I'm going to delete this one also. I don't need it. So this is how we can delete our resources once we complete our practice. And how to connect to this particular virtual machine, those things we are going to learn in our tomorrow session, the first thing. And then we are going to learn about how to create a Linux machine and how to connect to our Linux machine. Those things we are going to learn in tomorrow session. Anyone wants to ask any question, please quickly raise your hand or we are ending the session here. Okay, no one has any questions, so let's just end the session here. Thank you all. Thank you for joining today's session. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you.